Britain has started installing lampposts or streetlights, as you might know them in the USA, that could eventually recognize your car, identify your face, and analyze behavior in public. They're being presented as a smarter way of fighting crime and improving infrastructure. But there is a much bigger question to be asked here. Are we quietly building a surveillance state, a surveillance system before the public has even agreed to it? Because it sounds like we are. You know, what are these lampposts then? They look like ordinary streetlights, but they can potentially carry cameras, sensors, and AI technology. Supporters say they could help find missing people, identify vehicles, or detect criminal activity. Not every advertised feature appears to be fully active in Britain yet. Some experts think that the grander claims may be more hype than reality. That's from The Guardian. Why do people accept it? Most people already live around CCTV, so each new camera feels like a tiny change rather than a dramatic loss of privacy. And as they say, people are generally willing to lose their freedom if it means being safe and secure, which I do not necessarily agree with. There is a very fine line, I think. Surveillance rarely arrives all at once. It arrives one reasonable upgrade at a time, and then before you know it, you're living in Big Brother. CCTV versus recognition. A traditional camera records what happened. Facial recognition can potentially identify who you are in real time and then follow you. That is a fundamentally different level of power. Infrastructure, can be installed for one harmless purpose, then updated later with the abilities nobody originally voted for. And I think this is where the grey area becomes pretty dangerous. Just because something happens and it means it's okay at one point, the update that comes 6 months later may not be something which the most of the inhabitants of a particular place find acceptable, but yet becomes the new norm, whether they like it or not. The lamppost might be checking parking spaces. 5 years later, it might be tracking faces or judging suspicious behavior. Do you really want a lamppost or a streetlight judging whether your behavior is suspicious? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Technology that improves safety is not automatically bad, but the public deserves to know what is actually being installed, what is being used, what data is being gathered, and who controls it, and what are the new functions that can be added later. The danger is not necessarily that one lamppost is watching everything and everyone today. It is that we build a system quietly and connect it all up gradually and only ask questions once switching it off becomes almost impossible. So there is something to be watchful of over these new AI streetlights and lampposts. I think it's probably a step in a direction in which we may find ourselves very, very, very challenging to return from. This is Jake O'Neill Talks, honest commentary on modern life.